To be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. To protect your brother, even from himself. To give support at your own expense. And when wearing the black and gold suit of armor, make sure nobody desecrates it, disrespects it. Most importantly, we ourselves don't dishonor it. From previous legends who have donned the black and gold. These virtues I learned while playing for the Steelers are what make the legacy of the black and gold timeless. They are passed down in the locker room from the steel curtain to anyone who valiantly wears the black and gold. Creating a brotherhood that is deeper than money, business, and winning. To be a Steelers, consider others before you consider yourself. This is our culture, Steeler culture.
Now, here are your hosts, Rob and Dan, the Steel Twins.
Steelers Nation, Steelers Nation. How are we doing tonight, folks? How are we doing tonight, huh? How are we doing?
You know, what a way to enter the month of July, bro. What a way to enter training camp in just, what, 3 weeks?
Yes, just 3 weeks until Latrobe. Minkah Fitzpatrick will not be a part of Latrobe.
Damn, you just got straight to the point, didn't
I
you?
did. I mean, what more can we say?
He gone, guys.
Minkah is gone. This is the last time I get to wear his jersey. I'm going to wear it out of love and respect and appreciation.
I probably should have gotten mine, but we're already live on the air, so, you know.
I am very torn with this. Very, very torn.
As am I, guys. Like,
I'm very torn.
It is several hours away from when Schefter initially broke the news of Ramsey being traded to the Steelers. Now, I called my brother over here, and we're talking about it, and we're like, okay, you know, this is fine.
Wow, that didn't take long. 2 words. Pittsburgh Steelers #1 fan with a 2 says, bring Tyler Boyd home.
Well, we appreciate the $2 super chat. I don't know about Tyler Boyd, guys.
I'd have to pass on Tyler Boyd.
I'm good on Tyler Boyd, but yeah. The news broke initially with Ramsey being traded to the Steelers. And we're like, all right, this is cool. This is fine. Ramsey's still a capable guy, and it's like, okay, but what's the trade compensation? Turned out to be Minkah Fitzpatrick straight up.
Yeah.
A straight up rare player-for-player trade. It was Minkah for Ramsey. And then Schefter wasn't done there yet. Shortly after that, he broke the news that the Steelers and Dolphins agreed to another trade of the Steelers acquiring Jonnu Smith.
Which this has been in the news. This has been in the reports for weeks now.
Yes, it has been.
Isaiah with 499 says, as much as I hate that we traded Minkah, I understand why they did it. Minkah's play was declining. He only had 1 interception in the last 2 seasons. I know everyone's going to bring that up. Yes. The last 2 years, he hasn't been the Minkah of old. He hasn't been the 2019 Minkah, the 2022 Minkah, the 2021 Minkah. I get it. And you're not entirely wrong. No, he hasn't been the same guy. There has been a decline.
No, we've even questioned him a little later in the season last year. It's like, where is Minkah? We were even betting like, hey, is this the game that Minka's going to get a pick? Is this the game where Minka's going to do it? And he never did up until the Lamar Jackson interception, which meant nothing.
And yet he has regressed a little bit. I mean, from his coverage skills to even his tackling. There were a couple times he got.
No, Derrick Henry made him
he makes everyone look hilarious.
Yes, but and I know Minkah ain't no big, bulky guy. He's not the biggest guy out there.
But I also argue the reason for Minkah and his decline is because of coaching. What do you expect him to do out there when he's 30 yards away from the line of scrimmage, the only guy out there in single high safety, when you have your defensive backs, your corners underneath him, 10, 15 yards away from the receivers? What do you think the offense is going to do? You think they're going to challenge Minkah and throw the ball deep knowing what he can do? No, they're not going to do that. And they didn't do it at all last year. But when the receiver is 15 yards away from the nearest defensive back, when there's so much cushion, the offense is going to be like, let's just throw it underneath. They're going to completely eliminate the pass rush, and they're going to completely eliminate Minkah from the equation because there's no bump and run. There's so much cushion between the DB and the wide receiver. And the more they do that, the more tired the defense gets. Thus is the result we got last year and for how many years now? So, yeah, Minkah has regressed. His stats aren't up to par. His play has been up to par. But I don't think that was all entirely because of Minkah. I think coaching didn't allow him to do the things that he could do, play Minkah ball. And I think that really started when Terrell Austin took over. You notice the difference when Keith Butler ran it and Terrell Austin ran it. Huge difference.
I mean, every year it's just the same thing when it comes to the defense. I mean, it's just soft zone, guys 10 yards away, and just offenses just know how to pick apart the defense.
Well, the last 2 years, most of the time, Minkah had to play cleanup.
Yeah,
in 2022, he was put in the box more because we didn't have a box safety. We didn't have Elliott in 2023. In 2023, he had to play in the box more, plus he was battling injuries. Last year,
also was a whole inside linebacker room. I mean, we even had to call up Miles Jack out of retirement.
I know.
Remember that?
Yes.
So that was a rough year. Minkah had to be the emergency linebacker because inside linebacker was just dreadful until we got Patrick Queen for agency and Peyton Wilson in the draft.
And then you add in Elliott for last year. We thought, hey, we're going to get Minkah ball back. Instead, they kept him alone by himself in single high safety.
And they just kept continuously doing it game after game. I mean, it was just stale.
It was the most basic defensive game plan to the point that even TJ Watt was non-existent because it's easy for the offense to game plan when he's not being moved around anywhere. Terrell Austin's not moving any of his pieces. All you got to do is chip the guy. And in regards to Minkah's situation, don't throw the ball towards his way.
I mean, everybody on the defense was just stationary. Nobody moved around. Nothing was different. Nothing was unique on the defense.
Shout out to Jacob Frederick. He's been a member for 14 months. Says, yo, boys, can I get a go Steelers? Go Steelers!
Listen, at the end of the day, Jacob, shout out to you. Go Steelers. To everybody, go Steelers. I rep these colors. I rep this logo with a passion. That's what I always put first, is the logo. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to appreciate the guys that rep the colors, that rep the logo. Minkah is one of those guys that I will forever appreciate.
We went through hell and back before we got Minkah. From the final years of Troy Polamalu to the years of Will Allen and Shamarko Thomas and Sean fucking Davis and Mike Mitchell. Do I go on? We went through hell and back to get this guy. And when we made the trade back in 2019 to get him, huge gamble trading that first round pick knowing Ben was out all year. And he, man, was immediately one of my favorites. And it sucks to see him go. Now, the reason the Steelers let him go is because, according to Mark Caboli, they were never going to bring him back next year. The Steelers had no intention of bringing back Minkah Fitzpatrick. That's why they traded him away today.
This is the first time I'm hearing this right now.
According to Mark Caboli from the Pat McAfee show, he tells...
Run the ball!
Shout out to Justin Haynes. Appreciate you, man. He tells 93.7 The Fan that the Steelers didn't have plans on re-signing Minkah Fitzpatrick after the season and saw this as a good time to make the move. They acquired Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith in the process. They didn't want to keep him. They weren't going to keep him. So they figured, you know what? Very much like George Pickens.
If you're not down with that, we've got 2 words.
Hold up, we got Mason with a $4.99. He says, I'm going to empty the clip on Tomlin and
God.
Omar. That's a little too much there, Mason.
Yeah, that's a little, yeah. You might want to tone
Favorite
down. It's not
Steeler
that serious.
gone.
You're not down with that.
F. Ramsey, gonna
We've
miss you,
got
gang,
two
from
words
599.
for you.
And Isaiah with a 199. Adam Schefter tweeted that TJ might get traded.
Yes. He's not getting traded.
We'll dive further into that later.
Despite how we feel about Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Steelers' focus this year, although I don't buy into it, they're all in. They're going all in, which is why they brought in Darius Slay initially to pair with Joey Porter Jr. Now you add Jalen Ramsey. What more better guys can JPJ learn from, to be beside, to be under? Holy shit, swear jar.
Now,
JPJ has no excuses going forward.
Now, those two guys, they are future Hall of Famers. They are Super Bowl champions.
Yes, they are.
They are credible guys that at one point were the best at their respective position.
And now you add in the DK Metcalf trade, which I still love. You add in Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I will say 6 years ago, this would have been an absolute legacy team. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're talking an offseason which the Steelers have added Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Darius Slay, Jalen Ramsey. Yes, 2019, I mean, like, this is the best team the Steelers could have ever had, could have ever pictured.
6 years later, they're going all in. I can't buy it, but that's the Steelers' philosophy. We're going to go all in. We're going to get in all these names, but at the risk of trading Minkah Fitzpatrick. At the risk of trading Minkah Fitzpatrick because they didn't want to keep him. Very much like Pickens. They weren't going to keep him the year after, so they figured, let's get something out of him while we can. And thus the Steelers did today by trading him and a 2025 or 2020 what?
2027 fifth round pick
To the Dolphins for Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, and a 2027 seventh.
Correct.
That's the full trade details.
Yes.
But the Steelers are all in. 100%.
Well, yeah, this move just further proves that.
So
This move further indicates that.
So the whole TJ Watt contract extension or the trade rumors or whatever Adam Schefter reported, I don't buy into the fact that he's going to be traded. I don't buy into the fact that, you know, I'm sure the Steelers are getting calls, but I doubt they're going to entertain. You're not going all in without TJ Watt. You're just not doing that. He's literally the best player on the entire football team. You're not trading your best player if you're going all in. Which is also confusing to me why they traded Minkah, because if they're literally going all in, why trade away such a very good safety? Such a team leader. A guy that embodies the Pittsburgh Steelers to a T.
A man that gives his effort 100% of the time, a man that's heavily disciplined, a man that oozes leadership and capabilities, and still, despite him not being the playmaker he may not, be anymore, he's still a quality player. He's still a very good safety. He's still capable of making plays. But you get rid of that.
They got rid of it. They don't want to keep him next year, so they did. So,
and although you have filled the cornerback room is probably the most stacked that has been since
2020.
I want to say 2020.
2020, we had Hayden, Nelson, Hilton, Sutton. God almighty. Those dime packages were deadly with a prime Minkah.
And now you got Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, JPJ, Beanie Bishop. I'll even throw Brendan Eccles in there. We'll see what he can
Brendan
do.
Eccles, yes. Corey Trice.
Yes.
Like,
we'll see what they can do.
cornerback is very stacked. Very stacked. And
So they have filled that position at least for this year.
yeah, because I don't know how. Well, Slay's not going to be here after this year. Ramsey's a question mark himself. Is Ramsey going to be a one-year rental?
Well, he's got an opt-out option after this upcoming season.
Well, also, the Steelers are going to be paying a big bulk of his $26.6 million compensation this year. In fact, they gave him a pay raise. They gave him a $1.5 million pay raise this year. And they're going to be paying a bulk of it. They're not paying all of it. The Dolphins are going to pay a small portion, but they're still going to pay a big portion of his $26.6 million. I don't know if it's a guarantee or a cap hit. I don't know the details, but that's the compensation he's getting. So it's very much a lateral move for the Steelers. They trade away one defensive back and they get another, and they're paying them pretty much the same. It's just now you have a gaping hole at safety, but you completely fulfill and stack and solidify corner for this year alone.
So you fix a position, you fix a hole, while in the process making another hole, at least for now. I don't know what the Steelers' plan in mind is for free safety. Now, keep in mind, they brought in Juan Thornhill, former Chief and Brown, on a one-year deal. When we brought him in, I thought he was just going to be a better backup and a quality backup for Minkah and Deshaun Elliott.
He can't be the starter, dude.
He's not a quality starter anymore. That's not Juan Thornhill anymore. He's not the chief he used to be.
As a third guy, rotational piece that would have allowed Minkah to do Minkah things if the defense wanted to get creative for once. That's why I like the addition. But him now officially being the starting free safety, they got to make a move. And I know people are probably saying they're going to put Ramsey at safety. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of trading for Ramsey? I mean, you trade Minkah for Ramsey just to put Ramsey at safety. You're getting an older guy at the position that hasn't played a position in how many years? So he might play a little safety
In certain schemes and formations.
very much like what Patrick Peterson did a couple years back.
I
But
don't deny that.
Is he going to be the full-time free safety? No, he's not. He's going to be used outside. He's definitely going to be used in the slot. Jalen Ramsey's the guy that you bring onto the field to match, blanket, lock down Jamar Chase, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, whoever the hell you're going up against this year. That's the guy. That's the guy. That's why you trade for Ramsey. That's why I like the Ramsey addition, because we needed someone like that, someone with that versatility, someone that can work in the slot whenever those guys are going to bounce around in the slot. I think a third of Chase's reps along the Bengals field, the offense, was in the slot. And, of course, Chase was the best receiver in football last year. You need someone like that to match up with someone of a Chase caliber receiver. That's what Ramsey brings. That's why I like the Ramsey addition. And versatility. Yes, he's older.
Yeah, he'll be 31 come October. But even at his age, he's coming off a 17-game season, fully healthy. And he was still physical as all hell. He's still good in the run defense. You know? He's still a quality player. And like you said, versatile as all hell.
Yeah, he's not the Jags, Saxonville Ramsey. I don't even think he's as good as he used to be with the Rams. But he's still a very good quality corner. He's still very good, and it completely solidifies the cornerback position, which, I mean, before the Ramsey move, I was already feeling better about the room than I did last year. This just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? That just
amplifies it more?
Yeah, thank you. Amplifies it, just my feeling for it a little more. But I think with Ramsey, you know, like I said, he's going to be working outside in the slot. He's the guy you bring in to blanket the number ones, especially a guy like Flowers chasing the division. That's why they trade for him. That's why I always like the idea of trading for Ramsey. When the rumors started up, I'm thinking, bring him in. You know, if they're going all in, why not? Why not? We need more corners, the merrier. Why not? I just didn't think it'd be at the cost of trading such a really good safety, such a team player like Minkah after everything he's done for us. No, he hasn't been the same guy the last 2 years, but I blame a lot of that on coaching.
And that's the question. That's the question here. Even with Ramsey coming in, how much is the coaching going to utilize Ramsey's versatility and utilize the three defensive backs in Ramsey, Slay, and JPJ?
Well, they bring him in for a reason, and that's exactly the reason.
They brought him in for a reason. I just hope that reason, they actually use him for that reason.
Well, according to Mark Corboli, the Steelers see Jalen Ramsey as an outside corner, slot corner, and can take some snaps at safety. And in regards to Jonnu Smith, they view Jonnu Smith as a tight end, a slot wide receiver, and a fullback. So pretty much what Connor Hayward was or wasn't for the Steelers, that's what Jonnu Smith's going to bring.
Yeah, this Jonnu Smith edition right here, this pretty much eliminates Connor Hayward's chances of making the 53-man roster.
Don't worry, he'll be on the practice squad just so he can say hi to his brother.
Probably,
he'll be fine.
Most likely. I mean, they like to keep extra tight ends. It's usually what they like to do, especially with Smith as the offensive coordinator. But
because the Arthur Smith and Jonnu Smith connection has been obviously widely known.
Well, it's well documented, back from his Tennessee days to his Falcons days, and now here he is with the Steelers. He is reunited with Smith for the third time.
Last year, he broke out, 88 catches. I think it was top 5 in receiving yards for tight end. He had a breakout season, which I don't know why the Dolphins would trade that, but sure.
I think it came down to contract negotiations.
Well, the Steelers extended him today with a 1-year, $12 million extension.
And now Jonnu Smith is here with the team on a 2-year deal worth $16 million.
Yes.
So we got Smith for the next 2 years, and we got Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith as a new 1-2 punch at tight end. With Darnell, I guess debunked down to the number 3, primarily as the blocking tight end, which
as-
ain't a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but I think Darnell is more than just a blocker.
Yes.
He's not the athlete. He's not the yak guy that Jonnu is, but I think with his size and his strength, how can he not utilize that in the passing attack? You got a guy like Arthur Smith who is mainly tight end heavy. He runs a ton of 12 and 13 personnel, and that's not going to change, especially with this acquisition.
No, it's not going to change. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they would have run that more.
They will. And they really sucked at 13 personnel last year, but perhaps that was the tight end personnel itself. You had Pat Freiermuth, you had Darnell Washington, and Connor Hayward. Connor Hayward's not good. Hate to be blunt here. He's not good. You bring in Jonnu Smith, that is a huge upgrade. Jonnu Smith is a great pass catcher. But is he the end-all, be-all? Is he the complete permanent fix? No, he's not. Was he necessary? I didn't think so. I personally thought we had enough tight ends on the roster.
I didn't, not to interrupt you, brother, but I didn't view tight end as a need or a position to trade for.
Well, we got Freiermuth who stayed healthy all last year, and I feel like if you give him more targets, he could really, showcase what he showcased when he had Ben at quarterback. Aaron Rodgers loves the tight ends.
Well, how many times did we pound the table of last season? Where is Freiermuth? Why are you not utilizing Freiermuth?
Well, could we see Jonnu Smith get more targets than Freiermuth?
It might appear to be that way. I mean, he has that chemistry with Arthur Smith.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, he sort of kind of had that in Atlanta, and I think it was Kyle Pitts' it was either his second or his third year, whichever one. Jonnu Smith actually had more receiving yards than Kyle Pitts did because Arthur Smith was still with Atlanta at that time.
Yeah, Arthur Smith loves this guy. And if there's one guy that's going to get him the football, it is Arthur Smith. I can't deny that. I still didn't think that adding him was that necessary. I'd rather them put their focus on an actual bona fide wide receiver too.
Which is, by the way, they still need to make a move for that.
I hope they do. I hope that they don't view Jonnu Smith as, you know what, we got enough pass targets. We're fine here. Let's just run with Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson. And now Jonnu Smith, let's just run a shit ton of 12 and 13 personnel.
Don't forget Robert Woods.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I forgot he was.
They're just throwing his name in the hat because, he's
another guy on the Steelers retirement tour this year.
Yeah. Yeah, we got plenty of those.
That's also one thing I do got to mention about this trade. They just like to get older this year, don't they?
Anybody seen the memes yet of the Pepsi commercial from last season with Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Emmitt Smith, Dan Marino?
Yes.
Everybody seen the clip? The 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's
Darius Slay, Aaron Rodgers, Robert Woods, Jalen Ramsey. Am I missing anybody?
You could throw in Cam Hayward and TJ Watt.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
But they're still great, core guys.
Still.
For this team.
But the age factor does still play in that boat.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yes, this team...
I don't like them getting older.
This team has gotten older. It's also direct, showcasing, yes, we're going all in. And I've always been adamant saying, yes, that's the mindset, that's the mission, and that's not a bad mission or mindset to have. It's fine.
No.
It's fine. But you also got to be smart about it. You also have to understand and acknowledge that there is a time where you kind of have to take a step back. I said that even, weeks ago. I said that weeks ago about, the team's got to take a step back. They got to acknowledge, we ain't it. And the reason I say that is not from a talent standpoint, especially the additions that they did now. Some of these guys are still talented. They can still play to a certain level. That's fine. The talent's fine. It's the coaching that I don't trust. It's the coaching that bothers me.
Yeah,
you're bringing all this talent in. You're getting older and bringing all this talent in. That's going to be led by this coaching staff, which, keep in mind, last year, the same coaching staff that led you to 5 straight losses.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I don't trust this coaching staff.
So that's why I can't buy into the hype. I like the additions of Jalen Ramsey. I like the addition of Jonnu Smith. I can live with it. I didn't think it was that necessary, but I can live with it. Darius Slay, Aaron Rodgers, guys like that. I understand why they signed those guys because they got such a young team. They're going all in. They got guys under rookie contracts that they want them to learn behind. Is JPJ with Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey. You got Will Howard with, Aaron Rodgers. Even a guy like Robert Woods. Imagine what Roman Wilson can learn from him. I understand it. But them going all in this year, I can't buy it. I don't trust the coaching staff to get the job done. I don't. Thus, this Ramsey move, it's going to help the defensive back room. It's going to help the defense. It is. I mean, they're paying him a lot. They're really paying him a lot, and I really hope that they get what it's worth. I hope that they hope that it's worth it, because at the risk of trading away Minkah Fitzpatrick and getting older in the secondary regardless. So this team, man, it's been a very interesting offseason. But one thing you know for certain, like it or not, they're going all in. Believe it or not, they're going all in this year. I just hope that they're not done. For them, this makes a lot of sense. For the Steelers, this makes a lot of sense because they weren't keeping Minkah. So they're like, you know what? Let's trade him now. Get Jalen Ramsey. Let's go grab Jonnu Smith because Arthur Smith likes him so much, because they have so much chemistry.
And another Arthur Smith guy. Though Jonnu Smith is a good player, don't get me wrong. He's still a very good quality player. He showed that last year with Miami, for God's sake. Still a good player. But it's another Arthur Smith guy that the Steelers are experimenting on.
Right.
We experimented with, what, 4 guys last year? Cordell Patterson, Scotty Miller, Van Jefferson, Michael Pruitt. Now, those guys are second, tier guys.
No, third-tier guys. Third-tier guys at this stage of their career.
So
Jonnu Smith is leaps ahead of those guys.
He's a starter quality guy.
He really is.
But I'm still concerned. I'm still worried, and I still question Arthur Smith's utilization of the tight ends in the passing attack, in the passing game.
I agree.
Even with A-Rod, coming into play.
Well, I don't think Arthur Smith can scheme a passing game. Not even if he has a tight end that he's so familiar with. I don't think he got Muth involved enough. They obviously just view Darnell as just a blocker, which I think he's more than that. But to the Steelers, they don't. So that's why they traded for Jonnu. I will say, corner and tight end are infinitely better today than they were yesterday.
No, can't deny that.
They are. I mean, tight end, I didn't think was 100% necessary. Corner, listen, I'm never going to say no to adding more corners, because corner help is very necessary for this team. We are so young there. We need as many names, as many bodies as possible, especially with the slot corner position being still open. Now, does that take away reps for a guy like Beanie Bishop? Probably.
I hope not. I thought he had a very solid rookie campaign.
But now, if the Steelers want to get creative on defense, they got an arsenal of guys where they could put them anywhere. So you could have Ramsey in the slot, Slay JPJ outside. You could have Corey Trice play dime. If you want, you have Beanie play dime and play, nickel blitz if he really wanted to. I mean, they have such a stacked corner room now that if they really wanted to get creative, they could really make some plays in that backfield.
And that's the idea. That's the idea, and hopefully that is the plan. It's just, again, I don't trust this coaching staff to do so. I can only hope that they do so. I can only hope that they utilize these talents.
Right.
I really hope so. But just based off past trends, the past number of seasons of, what they've done with the defense, how they've used the players on the defense, especially in the later stretch, that concerns me. I hope that's not another repeat.
No, because
Down with that.
I got another one.
We've got 2 words for
Steeler Lee with a $4.99. He says, I know people hate Minkah is gone, but you can't ask for aggressive moves and then hate the aggression. This is the new era.
This is definitely an aggressive move, man. They got some balls. They are gambling. They are really gambling. They are. I also think it reeks desperation. Just a little bit.
You could argue that.
I think it reeks just a little bit of desperation.
Despite Kaboli's report, as a fan, I don't understand how the team plans to go all in. That's their mission. They want to go all in, but they trade away one of their more significant known playmakers.
Well, again, like
defenders.
They weren't going to keep him.
And yeah,
so
that's why I said despite.
So to them, this makes sense. That doesn't mean I have to agree with it.
No.
I would have loved adding Ramsey and Smith and keeping Minkah. I feel like they could have kept Minkah. Unless the Dolphins weren't going to trade away Ramsey without getting a significant playmaker back, which Minkah lands right back where he started, where he was drafted, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's weird how life comes full circle at some moments. It's really, really weird.
Yep.
But perhaps maybe that's what the Dolphins were asking for is, hey, we're not trading this guy unless you give us a significant playmaker. We'll give you our best tight end and a defensive back, very versatile for your defense if we get a significant playmaker in return. And that was something the Steelers obviously accepted. They weren't going to keep Minkah, and they did it.
Yeah, they did do it. They were willing to do it. And I know the Dolphins, they lost Javon Holland to the Giants. I know they don't exactly have great safety help at the moment. Getting Minkah back 6 years later, I think, that helps the Dolphins secondary to a point.
Right.
At least for their safety position. So there's that.
Let's see what the poll's at in the chat. There's a poll in the chat for you guys. How do we feel about the trades? 74% thumbs up, 26% thumbs down. A lot of you guys like the trade. I like the additions of Ramsey and Smith. It's not a problem with that. I just don't like the fact they traded Minkah. I don't know how you go all in and then trade away Minkah.
Still very torn on this whole situation. Still, even hours later.
Just a little bit.
Still torn. I hope they have a plan to replace him. You can't just go with Thornhill, who's on a 1-year deal, and then that's it. We're gonna ride with him.
No, you're not going with Thornhill or even Ramsey full time at safety. You're not doing that. That's kind of redundant.
Which is why I've seen many people on social media say, "What about Justin Simmons?
He's still out there.
He's still a free agent."
Like last year, I don't know how he was still a free agent, but he was. I will also say that's also just another 1-year rental move for an aging vet. It kind of fits in what the Steelers are doing this year, so at this point, why not? There's also Julian Blackmon out there. I don't know how
he's still available.
I don't know how he's unsigned. I always thought he was solid.
Still, Lee says Castro. He means Sebastian Castro out of Iowa, the undrafted rookie free agent.
That's asking too much.
That's way too much for an undrafted free agent. To fill big holes like that,
that's asking way too much.
That's just too high. That's high expectations for a guy like Castro. And I like Castro. I like his play. I like what he could possibly bring to the table.
I don't know how he went undrafted.
But you're not going to thrust him in there immediately.
Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
Yeah, because Mike Tomlin's going to do that with a rookie.
Listen, man.
Listen, last year was an exception for Beanie Bishop because they had nobody else. That was the Steelers' fault. And Cam Sutton was suspended.
I don't want to. Listen, at this point, I don't want to roll out anything. I thought Minkah was a lifer. 10 o'clock this morning. Nope, he's gone.
I mean, I guess that's what Omar Khan's basically trying to tell everybody. Nobody's safe.
I like Castro. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I feel like that's just unrealistic expectations. Although I would
he could have a big year. He could go out there and ball. I don't know, but I'm not going to have high expectations on that.
Well,
it's too much.
I'd still love him to get the chance.
I'm not saying that. I want him to get a chance.
But I'm also not just relying on that. I'd rather still find someone else out there. Trade for safety. Sign a Simmons or a Blackmon. Now that this opens a huge hole at safety. Who's going to play the backfield? Who's going to play deep safety? We don't have that. We don't have that.
But if it's a rental like a Simmons or a Blackmon,
it would have to be Simmons. It would have to be. It would have to be Simmons. He's the only guy that can roam around there. Steerly with 199. Omar has no allegiances to Colbert's players. No, he doesn't. Who knows? Maybe TJ Watt doesn't get paid. Maybe there's a reason.
Watt's he's got to be an extent. What's the word I'm looking for? Not extension. It's another word.
What do you mean? Extendee?
No, not extendee. I can't think of the word right now.
Well, sources in recent weeks, multiple teams have been discussing whether they can trade for Steelers to stand out TJ Watt, who skipped the team's most recent mandatory minicamp. Pittsburgh hasn't shown any willingness to deal Watt whatsoever, but he's unhappy with his contractual situation, and sources believe outside team interest is likely to increase given today's trade. No one's safe. No one's safe. That's one thing Omar Khan has definitely proven. No one's safe. Nobody. Not even Minkah. And we all love Minkah. I will forever appreciate and cherish that man. Because we went through hell and back to get the guy. And now he's gone. So to Minkah, thank you so much. I will miss Minkah. You know, there's players that leave the Steelers that you're wondering, am I going to miss them? You know, like Pickens. I'm not going to miss Pickens. Minkah, I'll fucking miss. I'm going to miss Minkah for sure.
Yeah.
Who are they going to have there? I don't know. I have no idea.
It appears it might just be a year rental, whoever that might be.
Almost every position on this team's a year rental. Quarterback, cornerback, ×2, safety at this point. Not forgetting anything?
Yeah, because you're looking at Ramsey, who has an opt-out option. Slay, who's only here for a year. He's not coming back at 35 years old. And now free safety, you're looking at 3 positions, ideally, for the Steelers to address next year. Now they have the capital to do so with 12 projected draft picks for the draft in Pittsburgh next year, plus whatever or whoever may hit free agency next offseason.
See,
and I know that's for next offseason. Right, I understand that.
Oh yeah, they're stacked. They're absolutely stacked.
I try to think of the long game, of the long haul for the future. You know what I'm saying? I try to think about that a lot.
Mark says Minkah right now is a better.
If you're not down with
Mason.
that, we've got 2 words for
Mason, I'll
you.
get to you in a second. I want to finish Mark's comment. Minkah right now is a better secondary player than Ramsey. I agree. Y'all need linebackers and D-line. We actually don't.
We're good. We're great at linebacker. We're very good at defensive line.
We literally improved defensive line completely in the draft. And linebackers, we got Queen, we have Holcomb, we have Wilson. I think we're good there. You know, adding Ramsey, this is why I was so big on adding Ramsey, because like if you add Ramsey, you fill everything. There's not one single gaping hole on the team until the news came out that you trade Minkah. Now you have one serious gaping hole. You could argue corner's a lot more important than safety. Safety is a little easier to find. But that's still a big hole.
It is.
To lose a playmaker like that.
And again, despite the Kaboli report, what he said, how do you go all in with another hole in the secondary? Losing out on one of your more prominent and known players on the defense that every football team look to try to stay away from every game day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mark with a 199 says, I wasn't going to drink tonight, but this shit happened. I mean,
drink responsibly, bro.
Yeah, drink responsibly, never drink and drive. That's for certain. Is Jordan Whitehead still out there? Isn't he more? I mean, he can play both. He's one of those rare safeties that can play both. He's a better box guy, but if you want him to roam deep, he can very much do that. He did that a lot in Tampa Bay. He did that a lot as a Panther. Pitt Panther.
Jet as well.
He was a Jet, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Juan Thornhill being the starter. He's played 22 games the last 2 seasons. Can he stay healthy? If not, then who the hell you have back there? You might have to force Ramsey over there. Otherwise, who else is playing it? So I'm hoping that they add somebody. They have to. I feel like, I'll be real with you. I feel like they actually opened more holes today than they filled. They added more players to 2 positions that were already full of names. Tight end was full of names. Corner was definitely full of names. They added more to them, which is never a bad thing. But I feel like there's more holes now than there were yesterday. Safety is a bigger hole. Wide receiver is still a hole. I feel like there's more holes now. So that tells me the Steelers aren't done.
No, they can't be.
They can't be done. You're not fixing the offense with Jonnu Smith. It's over. No more moves. No. We need another receiver.
That'll fix all our problems.
We need another receiver.
Yeah, we still need another wide receiver. Getting Smith, that's another weapon. That's another target. Hopefully, Arthur Smith can utilize Jonnu Smith in some light and Pat Freiermuth at the same time, right? Utilize your tight ends, but you still need another wide receiver.
Okay.
You still got to go out there and find somebody. Not Tyler Boyd. He did nothing for Tennessee, and I get Tennessee was bad. The
Tennessee was
quarterback
very
situation
bad.
was very, very bad. But Tyler Boyd didn't do much. He didn't. Who they add a wide receiver, I don't know. I still don't know.
I don't know, man. But one thing we know is they're not done. They can't be done. Hopefully they're not done. We still have a Watt extension to come up at some point, right? They got to escalate before Latrobe hits in a couple weeks.
Well, something's got to get done because right now, according to the Shelter report, Watt's not happy
It seems
with
like
the current
It
stance.
seems like Omar Khan is staying busy. He made this big blockbuster trade this morning. He's still got to extend Watt. He's still got to make a move for safety and wide receiver. So we should be getting more news coming, right? Or am I getting my expectations too high? Or is that my hope and desire for them to fulfill these holes before the season? Maybe they like where they're at. Maybe they like the depth of where they're at. Maybe they feel like they don't need to add anyone else. I hope that's false.
I can't really feel the same. I can't. Khan's going to make moves. Khan's going to do what he feels is what makes sense for the team. But me as a fan, I don't have to agree with all of it. I don't.
Former Raven Marcus Williams is there and looking for a bounce. No.
Yeah, no. I don't. No.
I don't want. He is god awful. He is god awful.
They replaced Minkah Fitzpatrick with Marcus Williams. I swear to God, you might as well throw Sebastian Castro out there. I'm good.
Yeah, I'd much rather give Castro the chance rather than sign him. Absolutely not. Let me ask you guys in the chat. Do you think the team is better today than it was this morning when you woke up? Is the team better today than it was yesterday? I mean, they did stack corner. They did stack tight end. I mean, those two positions, man, they might be some of the best positions in the entire league when you look at it. You're looking at Muth. You're looking at Smith. You're looking at Darnell Washington. You can't ask for 3 better tight ends to run 13 personnel. And you know Arthur Smith is going to run that like a motherfucker. You're gonna see a lot of 13 personnel earlier on. You're gonna see Jonnu Smith motioned out towards the slot. You're gonna see some targets towards his direction, his yak ability. He's that pass target that Arthur Smith wants, that he knows he can incorporate and will produce. I'd like them to get another receiver, but that's how Arthur Smith likes to run his scheme and his offense. It succeeded places and it hasn't succeeded in other places. Let's hope for the best for the Steelers in that regard.
Yeah. With
Jalen Ramsey, I mean, the cornerback room is complete. I can't think of any other hole at the cornerback position. Everything is filled, even for dime packages. It's filled for this year only, though. That's the other thing, is it's only for this year. Slay's here for only a year. Ramsey's probably here for only a year. 2 aging 1-year rentals.
Yep.
But they're both they're both still really good. They're playmakers. They're Hall of Fame talents, and exactly what Beanie Bishop, Corey Trice, and Joey Porter Jr. need to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's something that I wish we had in the wide receiver room. We're those vet guys that could teach the young cats, what to do. Give them, some advice. Give them some experience.
Yeah. Some experience, some guidance, some knowledge from their experience throughout the NFL, stuff like that.
Right.
But I've seen this right here on Twitter. Jerry Dulick, he said 30 minutes ago, Steelers were not actively trying to trade Minkah Fitzpatrick, but they were willing to listen to any team who showed interest. They felt the absence of splash plays the past 2 years was not, how do you say that?
Was not what?
Was not
commensurate.
I can't pronounce that. It wasn't good with what they were paying him, basically. He also continued.
It didn't meet his contract.
No. Dulick continued and said, how will Steelers replace Minkah? Their new defensive plan will include Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, and Joey Porter Jr. on the field all the time, with few exceptions.
I like to hear that. Those 3 on the field at the same time.
That's kind of
what
the
defense has no excuses.
That's what you want.
Although we don't have Minkah no more. We don't have that deep ranging safety. The defense has no excuses no more. This is the most stacked defense we've had in a long time. Since 2020, literally. The edge group, stacked. D-line, stacked. Linebacker, stacked. Corner, stacked. Safety's a hole, but maybe they fill it. The defense has no excuses this year. You can't ask for a more rich cornerback room. Although you got 2 aging vets in there, you still can't ask for a more rich corner room. Those 3 on the field at the same time hopefully leads to good things. The D-line, in my opinion, is fixed. I think it's better than last year. The run defense should be fixed now.
Yep.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
The addition of Harmon, Y.A. Black in the draft, even the former Patriot.
So this defense should be literally lethal, like as advertised. They're putting a lot of money into it. They put a lot of draft capital into it, and they've really added some serious names. Although, yeah, some might be past their prime. They've added some names. This defense, if it's as advertised, can be really good.
Again, it's just up to Terrell Austin getting these guys in the right predicaments,
it is.
In the right situations, in order for the defense to be as advertised.
It is. Which is why what Duloc said about Minkah and how his splash plays weren't meeting his pay, I get that from the Steelers. His play wasn't meeting up to what they paid him with his contract and his upcoming cap hits. I get that. But look at yourself in the fucking mirror.
So
why do you think he hasn't been making splash plays?
So blame the player, though he's not immune to criticism. Minkah is not.
No one is.
He had some faults.
No one is.
Exactly. Blame the player, but not the coach.
They're not going to blame the coach. They've replaced nobody, but they've replaced almost everyone on the roster.
Yes, they've changed certain faces on the roster, which the team had to. They had to make changes. They could not just run with the same group of guys. They're running with the same group of coaches, but they couldn't run with the same group of guys. You can't just do that.
No.
You had to change some faces on not just the offense, but the defensive team in general. And
well,
they've done that.
They changed quarterback. They changed running back. They changed wide receiver. They now changed corner drastically. They've changed D-line.
They've changed many faces, and some of them are good, and some of them I'm excited for. I am. The coaching is still the same. Outside of two positions, the inside linebackers coach we changed because Aaron Curry was signed off by another team. And we have a new secondary coach, and Gerald Alexander, who came back after being the safeties coach for the Raiders.
Yeah, those are the only really coaching changes we've made.
That's it. Everybody else is literally the same. If you were to look at the coaching staff sheet from last year to this year, it's basically the same.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm worried about this upcoming season. That's why I predict 9-8. That's why I fear of another wild card loss in an embarrassing fashion. That's my fear. That's why I can't buy into the team going all in.
I gotta agree.
I can't.
I gotta agree.
Why should I trust this coaching staff that has failed us every year? I can't trust it. Why should I trust it? They have not gained my trust.
No.
They need to gain my trust as the season progresses. But my fear is that they're just going to continue to be inconsistent.
Well, after seeing the same result for how many years, why should we expect anything greater, despite who they've all added, which, for the most part this offseason, has been aging vets, aging one-year rentals. We're running a retirement tour. Fuck the John Cena retirement tour. How about the Steelers retirement tour?
Yeah.
Swear jar. I will say this. Overall, as an offseason, I feel like it's been kind of underwhelming. Like, overall.
It's been wild, bizarre, and confusing to me. If I had to define it in those three words: wild, bizarre, and confusing.
Yeah. Like,
just a little bit.
I love the DK move, and I love what they did in the draft. They fulfilled a lot of spots, especially in the depth of the defense.
Yes.
You know, the run defense especially.
I'm excited for DK and his future with the team. I'm excited for Harmon. I'm excited for Caleb Johnson. I'm excited for Jack Sawyer. Will Howard's development now that A-Rod's here.
Right.
I'm excited for a lot of these young studs. It's the young studs that I'm really thrilled and excited to watch, see how far they grow. Even from years past, from the draft class. Guys like Broderick Jones, Roman Wilson coming back from injury. Troy Fatano coming back from injury. Peyton Wilson in the second year. I'm freaking excited about him.
Oh, I expect Peyton Wilson to make probably one of the biggest jumps out of anyone this year. And he's going to be at the front center of that defense along with Patrick Queen.
A lot of my excitement for the upcoming season is from the young studs, from the guys from this past draft class and the two other draft classes the past 2 years.
Yeah, like my expectation or my thoughts on the season haven't changed for months now. Even with this move. Like my thoughts, my expectations, my hype hasn't changed.
No, my stance is still the same. My flag is still planted on 9-8 and a wild card loss.
Yeah.
That has not changed.
They've changed the roster by a good bit compared to last year, and they had to. But overall, as an offseason, I feel like they didn't do what I expected. They didn't go as aggressive in free agency like I wanted them to. And we know why. We know why that was.
We know why.
Because they're getting how many third-round picks next year?
We know why.
So trading up for a quarterback is still very much in play next year.
And I get it. They're going all in. They're trying to be as competitive as possible while still keeping as many draft picks for next year since the draft's in Pittsburgh. I get it. I understand that. I just don't think it's going to pay off for the Steelers going all in.
I don't think it will either. Y'all might think differently. That's your as a Steelers fan. But man, one thing's for sure. They're making moves, and I don't think they're done. I don't think they're done. They can't be done. Because we still got holes. I feel like they created more holes today. I like the Ramsey addition. I can live with Jonnu Smith. Didn't think it was that necessary, but sure, fine. But I think they opened more holes, man. I really did. So what that tells me is more news is coming. More rumors are coming.
Steelers suck.
To an extent, yes. Liar.
You know, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Terry McLaurin's out there. I'm not going to get my hopes up. There's been no progression there. Maybe Omar Khan pulls off another crazy trade. I don't know. I just find it really, really weird. Like, all these moves we've done this offseason. He's been shopping everybody.
Yeah, he has.
He's been shopping everybody.
Yeah.
Like Pickens, adios. Good riddance. Completely fine with trading him. What do we get? A third round for him?
Third round pick.
Third round pick for him for next year. We traded
The timing was confusing, but
we traded for DK Metcalf. Like he's been active. He traded Minkah today. He traded for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. Who's next? Who do you guys want to be next? Who do you guys want to be next for the Steelers to add? Free agency or trade?
I see Rhodes with a 199. I have a scary feeling we will trade TJ. That would just defeat the purpose of the team going all in.
You don't go all in without TJ. Although I can't buy into them going all in. The Steelers' philosophy is we don't go in if we don't have TJ. They're going to keep TJ. Now, I get why you're fearing that because we thought Minkah was safe. Minkah was a lifer. Today proved that that's not the case. So maybe TJ Watt isn't safe. I don't see him being traded. I don't. I can't see it. Why would the Steelers do that? Knowing what they're trying to do this year, why would they do that? If they're trying to completely rebuild and revamp the team, which, I mean, talks of that is completely gone away and never going to happen, then I get it. But they're not doing that. So why would they trade TJ?
Even if TJ were to ask to be traded, which I don't think it's going to come to that point.
No.
I just think he's upset by the contract offer that the Steelers have given him at the moment. That's it. I don't think it's going to lead to Watt saying, hey, I'm done with you. I want traded. I'd be shocked if that were to happen. I don't think that happens, though.
No, I don't think it happens either.
No.
I can't.
The Steelers are adamant about wanting Watt to finish his career with the Steelers, and Omar Khan said he is confident that will happen. I think it's just only a matter of time. It's got to happen before training camp, the start of training camp, right? I would have to think so. I don't think Watt misses out on training camp.
Right.
I can't see that. I can't envision that.
TJ Black in the chat says another Steelers-related thing I added y'all. Is that on Twitter?
Yeah, check the notifications there. Is it legit?
Let me take a look. Let me take a look here. Oh yeah. Fuck George Pickens. Fuck.
Oh yeah.
Fuck George Pickens. Good riddance. And for y'all that don't know, one, he skipped out on what was it, like a kid's meet and greet or something. Like he said he was gonna honor going to a kid's meet and greet, although he wasn't a Steeler anymore. He didn't show up, and Pat Freiermuth, shout out to him, had to show up and make good for it. And now George Pickens on Instagram today posted the career stats of Minkah Fitzpatrick that the Dolphins posted and put, super happy for you, broski. Back to beautiful places in life, LOL. So I don't know what he's insinuating by that. I don't know why Pickens is trolling, but...
Well, there's no secret George Pickens is not exactly mature.
No shit.
It's one of the reasons why they got rid of him. And just what he did, his action on bailing out on a youth camp that he said that he would still show up at, but then did not, for Pat to have to fill in for him, and props to Pat for doing so. That's just going to show you the type of human being Pat Freiermuth is compared to George Pickens. There had been some sort of reason for Pickens to do it. But he just did it.
I don't know.
And I don't get it.
Well, see, I'm not even worried about George Pickens. I wasn't going to bring him up. I wasn't going to bring up that whole situation.
No. Pickens is yesterday's news.
Pickens isn't a Steeler no more. So, good riddance. Have a good career in Dallas. Have fun trying to catch overthrown footballs from Dak Prescott. Have fun.
It will happen.
It will happen. I really don't care for George Pickens.
Oh, we care for DK.
He's gone. Pickens is gone. I've moved on from Pickens.
That is Brian Schottenheimer's problem.
Yes, it is.
That is the Cowboys' problem. They can have fun with that.
Yeah, Pickens is. Yeah, he is what he is now. Like what we see in Pickens is what is forever going to be Pickens. He's immature. Adios, amigo.
Am I doing it right?
I don't know.
Is that what we did?
Good riddance.
I don't know.
Good riddance. Not worried about Pickens whatsoever. Speaking of which, Minkah Fitzpatrick, as long as he stays healthy, he will face the Pittsburgh Steelers next year, week 15, I believe.
So will Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith if they can stay healthy.
Yeah, they will face their respective former teams week 15 as long as everyone stays healthy. I think that's Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh. I still have that being marked as a W because I don't think Tua in Pittsburgh temperatures is good for him.
Yeah, December 5th.
It's good for the Steelers.
December 15th, that is a Monday Night Football game, so that's going to be a lot more interesting to tune into.
Yeah.
And yeah, Dak in cold weather. Tua, yeah. What's the difference? Tua in cold weather. Yeah, it's a no-go for Tua, so yeah. I still have that as a dub.
Yeah. In fact, I still have the Steelers going 9-8 this year, despite all this. I could be wrong. They could do better. They might get a playoff victory this year.
Maybe 10-7, maybe. Maybe they just etch out that one win. What that is, I don't know.
It's going to be an interesting season.
Maybe
That's all
it is
I
the
know.
Bears.
What?
The Bears game.
What about
Soldier Field.
What about the Bears game?
A-Rod's a Steeler, bro.
We're losing.
You sure?
We're not beating the Bears in Chicago.
Man. I might change my prediction on that one.
I'm not changing my prediction. I think we lose to the Bears in Chicago. We haven't beaten them in Chicago in I don't know how long, 95, I think.
Yeah, I know that game's in the second half of the season, so we'll really see what the Bears are like with Johnson or Caleb Williams. Thought Caleb Johnson, Caleb Williams, and of course Ben Johnson.
Actually, let me see the schedule because this is who Jalen Ramsey is going to be lining up against, and I do think so. Who's the number one? Like by that, I mean who's going to be lining up against the number one corners or wide receivers? It would have to be Ramsey, right? It's not going to be Slay. It's definitely not going to be JPJ. JPJ has been downgraded to 2. Ramsey would have to be the one to line up against the ones, right? Whether that's outside, whether that's in the slot. Ramsey follows wherever the one goes. Wherever Chase goes, Ramsey follows.
That's how it should be. That's how it always should be. The number one corner follows the number one receiver. Take notes, Austin.
So week 1, we got the Jets, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson versus Jalen Ramsey. Week 2, Seahawks, Jackson Smith and Jimba versus Ramsey. Patriots, Diggs. You going to stay healthy? You going to get off the yacht? Diggs versus Ramsey. Vikings.
Justin Jefferson.
Wow.
Say less.
Well, we got a corner room to match with that firepower.
Yeah, we do.
We also don't know what J.J. McCarthy's all about. Browns, Jerry Jeudy. Saw a lot of slot time. We need Ramsey for that. Bengals. We all know. Chase, Higgins. Filthy. They have no defense, but it's filthy. Packers. Who's their main slot guy? Jaden Reed?
Jaden Reed. He's still the number one, though. Can't forget about Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden, definitely. We got
that's still filthy.
We got the Colts.
If you're not down with that, we've
Isaiah.
got 2 words for you.
Isaiah with another super chat. Appreciate you.
199 Isaiah. I still prefer JPJ. He just need to stop his holding. The penalties in general.
See, JPJ, I think he's a good cover corner. He just, the penalty's got to stop. But JPJ, in my opinion, is going to be the cornerback 2 this year. I think. I don't know how the Steelers are going to structure it. It could be Ramsey and Slay outside, and they put JPJ elsewhere. But I don't see them bouncing JPJ outside the perimeter. So it would have to be Slay and JPJ with Ramsey in the slot, most likely. That's how I envision it. They put Slay in the slot. They could do that. Slay has some experience with Terrell Austin from his Detroit days. I don't know exactly how they're going to function it. But I'm envisioning JPJ regardless, not leaving the outside room, being the cornerback 2. And then Slay, Ramsey kind of sharing the one responsibility, but Ramsey really following the top receiver of the opponent. That's how I envision it. And whoever can play dime corner can be, whoever. Ideally, Corey Trice, ideally, Beanie Bishop. You want to put Corey Trice up against the tight ends? Feel free. You want Ramsey to play dime and have him go up against tight ends? Feel free. Put Beanie in the slot.
Again, the defensive back room, the cornerback room, it's It's stacked.
It
It's got a lot of tools, a lot of players that you could have fun with, that you can utilize in various packages and rotations.
Yeah.
And in various spots on that secondary. You can have a lot of fun with that.
Sure can.
Make up a lot of packages with that.
So Terrell Austin, you better start getting creative.
Again, no excuses. No excuses to not utilize the guys that Omar Khan has brought to you, bro.
Well, that's not even just the defensive background. I'm talking the entire defense.
Basically.
Like, we got such a stacked edge core. How about you move these guys around? You want to rush while you want to blitz Watt interior? Feel free. How about do that with Jack Sawyer, Nick Herbig? We can get really creative here. We can get really disgusting on defense. Very lethal.
Blitz Patrick Queen.
Tons of blitz packages we can come up with. So when you look at the numbers, when you look at the bodies on the defense, man, you probably can't ask for any more. Yeah, we don't have Minkah no more, and I really hate that. But, you know, they also have strength in numbers. The Steelers have always relied on strength in numbers. So, the defense, man, if it performs as advertised, we can have a really lethal defense this year.
I hope so.
What does that mean for the offense? I don't know. I'll be real with you. I still don't know what to expect from the offense. I don't know what to expect from Aaron Rodgers. I don't know who's our wide receiver 2 right now, outside of Calvin, maybe. The only thing I know for certain is we're running a ton of 13 personnel and we're running the football. That's all I know.
To score more than 20 points a game, please. At least that. Get 20 or more points.
Colton, no. I don't think we trade TJ.
Colton, no.
Although we can get a big return for him, but no, I don't think
it'd
we
be a
trade
hell of a
TJ.
haul, but it wouldn't make sense with what the Steelers have already done.
I'll be real with you. I can see... I could see Alex Highsmith being traded before TJ Watt. And I'm not saying that's going to be this year, but maybe next year.
Keep in mind,
maybe the Steelers like Nick Herbig enough that they'll give him a shot in his, third year. His third year?
His third year. And Nick Herbig's a starter on any other football team, including the Steelers. Nick Herbig is starter quality.
I'm not saying they're going to trade him, but what I'm saying is I could see them trading him before Watt.
If they ever want to exercise that option, which with this trade,
anything's open.
Anything's on the table.
Anything's open.
But keep in mind, guys, the 2020 draft class, Alex Highsmith, and I'm including Minkah in this because we traded first for Minkah. Alex Highsmith is the lone wolf from that class.
Yeah, 2020 class. He's the only guy there. First round pick trade for Minkah, he gone. Chase Claypool,
been gone.
He's been gone. Alex Highsmith's the only guy here.
Yep, everybody else is just gone.
Everybody else, Quincy Roche, Buddy Johnson, all them guys, gone.
Jeez. There's your fun fact of the day.
40 a year for TJ. I mean, that's market value. The Browns, once again, broke the market. I think Max Crosby got 35.5 or something along the lines, and the Browns said, you know what, we're just going to break the market again.
Well, Watt's going to want that. Watt feels that he is deserving of that.
Well, he's better than Garrett. I'm sorry.
He's better than Garrett. He's better than Crosby. He is the best pure pass rusher in the league. Still. And he's going to want to be paid handsomely for that.
But it's also like he's 31. Or he's going to be 31.
I know. But this deal for TJ, it should have been done.
It should have
been one of the first things that Khan knocked off. It's what he should have been done, but here we are.
Just goes to show the draft is a crapshoot. I mean, it's a crapshoot if you can't draft, which in Colbert's last couple years he couldn't.
No, not at all.
He really couldn't.
Really set the team back, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. We're becoming the 2015 Broncos. Oh, I see it so much. I see it so much. Will it result in the same thing? Obviously, I hope so.
Maybe in Madden.
I don't know, man.
I hope so, guys.
Defense,
believe me, I
they
hope
still
so.
say defense wins championships.
Well, that showed last year.
Yep.
This past Super Bowl, I will say that.
Dana, I have no idea what we have in cap space. I have no idea.
I could probably check that right now.
I haven't checked the numbers all day.
If it has been updated. Team cap for...
Kenny Pickett over Malik Willis? I mean, they both suck.
Malik Willis is a better backup.
He's a better backup, but they both suck. That was an awful draft class. That was an awful year to go quarterback. An awful year. Very much like this year. Awful year to go quarterback. It's just there's more better backup guys.
As far as cap space goes, according to Spot Rack, it says right here $25.853 million.
Did you guys see the report that Minkah was the main reason for the communication issues last year? I thought that was Cam Sutton. I did not see the report.
When did Minkah start being put up in that category?
I thought that was Cam Sutton. Because the issues really started when he came back and took all the spots away from Beanie.
Yeah.
But that was more so Cam Sutton was
I
trash.
never looked at Minkah Fitzpatrick as the reason. It had to have been Sutton. Sutton was just not good.
Sutton sucked. Sandwave says, I'm not surprised at all about the Minkah trade. I was. I didn't think it was ever going to happen. I thought he was a lifer, bro.
Caught me off guard.
Caught me off guard real heavy. And that's why I'm still torn on this. I mean, I like the addition of Ramsey and what he brings, although it's most likely a one-year rental. Jonnu Smith, it's another good pass target. Stacks the tight end core. I'm never going to hate that, especially with how Arthur Smith runs his offensive scheme. I just hate the idea of trading away Minkah. Could there have been a way to do it without trading Minkah? We'll never know. Because if there was, it would have happened. It's not like the Steelers wanted to trade Minkah. It's just, we'll listen to offers. Omar Khan's always going to do that. He might do that with the TJ Watt situation.
No, they'll listen.
Like, I don't think he's actively shopping TJ, but if a team offers so much, he might be like, you know what, TJ, listen. Thank you. Adios. Like he did with Minkah.
I mean, teams are for sure going to inquire about Watt and where he is. And I'm sure Khan will have a listen here and there, but I don't think Khan trades away Watt.
No.
It just defeats the purpose of you going all in. It just makes zero sense.
Yeah.
So I don't think it happens.
I agree. Jonnu is better than Muth. He is. He's more aggressive. He's a better yak guy, better pass catcher. Jonnu is better than Muth, 100%.
Yeah.
Also, that's now 2 tight ends we're paying $12 million. I mean, we're not paying Jonnu $12 million a year, but the 1-year extension for $12 million is almost equivalent.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Muth's getting what? Muth's getting what? $12.5 million average?
Something like that. All I know is we better really get the tight ends involved if we're paying them that much. We're paying 2 tight ends. Big money. Maybe the Steelers saw what Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely did. You know what? We got to cop that. We got to copy that. And they torched us, especially Likely.
Yeah, he sent
Cam Sutton
he sent Sutton to the free agent realm to where nobody wants to look.
Sent him to the retirement home.
Yeah.
Trading Watt for Scary Terry.
Scary Terry, yeah, that's another name.
I don't know,
do
man.
the Commanders do that, though?
I don't know, man.
I don't think it'd be smart of them to trade away their number one.
That's also losing a massive impact player in Watt, dude. Look at the win-loss record without Watt.
Yeah.
Come on, speaks for itself. I'm just putting it out there.
No, I know.
We all know it.
I know, and we've experienced it, and it sucks.
We all know. I think I would rather trade Highsmith. It's nothing against Highsmith. It's just if you're going to trade somebody for Scary Terry, he's the odd man out.
Do the Commanders need pass rush help?
Call me a casual. I don't know much about their defensive line. I know Jonathan Allen left. They traded Montez Sweat years back. I couldn't tell you. Watt is not going anywhere according to Rob.
Frankie Louvu. That's all.
He's a good linebacker.
That's all they have.
He's a very good linebacker.
That's all they have. So they could use another pass rusher.
Sure, they could use another
if they
pass
desire
rusher.
to.
Now, Electric, don't you go starting, trade proposals now. Because last time you did this, man, we got, I seen you in the Discord chat talking about, Slick Rick putting it out there. We're going to get Ramsey, and it took a couple weeks, but you were right. Don't be putting it out there like that. I want Scary Terry, but I don't know if I want to get rid of Watt, bro. I don't know. I already lost my guy in Minkah. We're not getting rid of Watt.
That's not happening.
I know
There's no way.
we should know now, especially now. Never say never when it comes to Omar Khan, but never. We're never trading TJ Watt.
Exception. That was the word. Watt's got to be an exception.
Oh, it took you. We're 15
It's one of
minutes.
those times where a man just comes up with the word out of nowhere. Excuse the heck out of me. You can't tell me that wasn't good timing.
Like Jack Sawyer, I guess Highsmith could go. Herbig, we'd survive. Well, we have the numbers. Like, I don't think it happens. I don't think any of them go. I don't think like if there was an odd man out for the defense to the Steelers, it was Minkah. They're not going to trade more playmakers away. They'd probably trade high draft capital beforehand. I just don't see them losing more playmakers. What's the point in that? If their goal is let's go all in with A-Rod and everyone else we grabbed this year, why would you lose more playmakers? Granted, they did it with Pickens and they did it with Minkah. Pickens, I understand, and I agree with 100%. He was never going to grow up. He's a child. Minkah is still hard pill to swallow for me.
And it might take a bit. It might take a bit to get over this.
I get why it makes sense for the Steelers. They were never bringing him back, and they didn't think his level of play was worth what they were paying. But I'm like, bro, maybe you should start blaming yourself. Maybe that's why he's not making the plays. Maybe because he made so many plays earlier on, the defense is like, I ain't throwing his direction. And then y'all didn't help leaving him out there to play janitor all day. Just putting it out, I'm just saying.
Minkah was the cleanup guy for too many times. Just like Boswell is for the offense, having to play cleanup.
I would not trade Watt for Justin Herbert. No.
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 No, that ain't happening.
No, I would not. I would not trade.
I don't even want Justin Herbert. Why would they trade away Herbert?
Ravenator, how you doing, brother? Good seeing you in the chat, Bruce. If we get Terry without trading TJ Watt, I might confidently say that we might win the Super Bowl.
It'd be a great addition.
That'd be a
DK
hell, are you
and
kidding
Scary
me?
Terry. Oh my God, that's a wide receiving core that we want, we dream of, and it could be a realistic possibility. It depends if Scary Terry truly wants out of Washington. If he doesn't want to be a Commander anymore, I don't know if he wants to stay away from Jaden Daniels. The Commanders finally have a quarterback. He finally has a quarterback, and he wants to be traded away from that. I can't see that. I can't envision that.
Well, listen, we don't know. Anything can happen in the world in the NFL, bro.
Sure.
We know this.
Sure.
We know this.
I don't know. Just my 2 cents on that.
Well, look at it this way. Like, the Seahawks signed Sam Darnold hilariously, but traded away their number one target. Yeah, they got Jackson Smith and Jimba. Didn't they draft a receiver this year?
No, I don't remember. But Jackson Smith was arguably the number one last year. Just saying.
Arguably, yes.
Just throwing it out there.
He had a lot of really good stretch of games.
No, Seahawks picked up Cooper Kupp.
That's who they picked up.
They picked up Cooper Kupp.
God, the Seahawks are going to be a little different this year, huh?
Just a bit.
We faced them what week again?
2?
Week 2. That's our home opener.
Of course it is.
In Heinz Field.
Of course it is. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
J-Mo says Minkah was missing a lot of reads last year. It was sad to see, but his play has slipped, and the Henry stiff arm trucking was hard to watch. I'll get, yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was
Henry
hard to
ran
watch.
all over all of us. I mean, my God.
He ran over us. He stiff-armed almost everybody. He had
Dude,
how many
the
Steelers
Ravens
playing catch-up?
The Ravens obliterated us, bro. The Ravens obliterated us last year in that playoff game. It was not fun to watch.
I don't want to see that again. I don't.
It's crazy, man. Minkah's last interception is going to be against the Ravens, and it didn't mean nothing because Russ gave it right back away.
2 plays later.
Wow.
Yep. I couldn't believe that.
They got Torrey Horton in the draft from Colorado State. They got him in the 5th. That's going to be a steal.
If he can stay healthy, yeah, like Horton's got a lot of potential.
Wow. That's a steal.
As long as Darnold lives up to the pay.
He's not.
I don't see.
No.
It was awful down the stretch for Minnesota.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It's like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Oh my God, he's good for like 4 games, and you know what's going to happen. Fitzmagic turns into Fitztragic.
Yep.
I guess the same thing could be said in regards to Minkah when it comes to the Steelers' opinion of him, unfortunately.
Listen, it's nothing but love for Minkah.
Always.
Nothing but love, nothing but appreciation, and nothing but respect. And we wish him nothing but the best as he goes back to his stopping grounds in the NFL in Miami.
Yeah.
And we'll see what he can do over there. But
It's weird. It's weird how, life or the NFL life comes full circle sometimes.
a little bit.
Like look at Charles Woodson, right? He started with the Raiders, went to the Packers, won Defensive Player of the Year, and a Super Bowl, and then ended his career with Oakland.
That's right.
Minkah, I'm not saying he's like Charles Woodson, but I'm just comparing like the career paths. Kind of similar how he started with Miami, had a great career with Pittsburgh, forever remembered, and now he's back in Miami. It's just weird how the NFL world happens that way sometimes.
Yeah. But again, best of luck to Minkah, man. Nothing but love and appreciation from us right here and much of Steelers Nation.
Yeah. I always thought he was incredibly underappreciated by a lot of people. I will forever cherish the plays that he brought for the Steelers because that was so missed after Troy left. Now, even before Troy left, Troy was not good in his last 2 years. He wasn't. So to have that back in that room was such a breath of fresh air.
It was.
And no, we didn't have it, with him the last couple years. We didn't. And unfortunately, that's why the Steelers got rid of him. I have my own opinions of why that didn't happen, but, the Steelers, man, Omar Khan does business. Sometimes the NFL business is a tough world. And it brought to an end a good run for Minkah. So to Minkah, thank you and good luck. This is the last time I'm going to wear his jersey. I'm going to miss him. I really am. There's not many Steelers players that leave where I'm going to be like, I'm going to miss him. A lot of the 08 defense you miss, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the Killer B days, you miss a lot of that. Recently, there's been so many Steelers that have come and gone. I'm like, I ain't going to miss you. Minkah, I think I'm going to miss. For sure. Unless they find another great safety that's going to make me forget about him. I don't know. Maybe the Steelers do that. You got to think safety is going to be a big need in the draft, too.
There's some good safeties coming out for next year's draft class, too. So we'll see. We'll see what their plan is. But Minkah, best of luck. Ramsey, Smith, welcome to the Steel City. Welcome to the Steelers. And I do look forward to seeing what you guys can do for this upcoming season.
Yeah.
How you're utilized, what you can do on the field, the impact you could bring to some degree. We'll see what they can do. Because they're still good players. I have no problem with them being added. Because they are still capable of making plays, of doing what they need to do.
Oh, for sure.
Of living up to their name.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys might be past their prime, but I think they can still give us something to be a little interested for. It's going to be an interesting season. This Steelers 2025 year, the 2025 season, I really don't know how it's going to go.
I felt the same way with Russ and Fields at quarterback.
Yeah, like you didn't know how it was going to go.
But this is a more bizarre road we're taking down here.
It's been a more crazy offseason. Like last offseason, we're making all these moves and all these trades, trading this person away, grabbing this guy, grabbing this quarterback. This year, it's like the names are a little more amplified. Yes, they're all past their prime. 6 years ago, this would have been a legacy team.
But you know what? It feels like every year when it comes to Omar Khan as GM, it just gets more wild and wild.
That's
it gets
for sure.
wilder. And next offseason is going to be even more like that.
Well,
with the draft capital.
With the draft capital, the draft in Pittsburgh, and the idea of us potentially trading up for a quarterback.
Yeah. So it's just going to get crazier from here.
Omar Khan, man, puts us on a ride.
Some of it's good. Some of it's great. Like the Metcalf trade, that was great. I have zero issue with that. That was a trade that was necessary. Then there's other moves that just kind of leaves you scratching your head, kind of like this a little bit, leaves you torn.
Yeah.
We'll see what Omar Khan's plan is. We'll see what his long game is. But they're going all in. Do I buy into it? Not exactly. I'm still not buying into it. But I will hope for the best. And they will have my full-fledged support at the end of the day. I will rep these colors. I will rep this logo. I will hope for the best despite my opinion.
Yeah, I'm kind of going into this the same way I went into 2019 after Ben went down. After Ben went down, I was like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens.
And that's how I feel.
That's how I feel. No expectations this year. Let's have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got all these players, like it or not. let's have fun with it. Let's see how it goes. It could be better than we expect. It could be a complete failure for all we know. It's going to be an interesting season. And tomorrow starts July, which means we are just how many weeks away from Latrobe?
3 weeks. Just about
That's
right.
not too far off. Which means the football season is right around the corner, folks. In fact, we are less than 6 weeks away from our first preseason game. So Steelers football will be back very shortly. Which I also think now puts a little pressure on Omar Khan, knowing, hey, we got some more holes now. Let's get to cooking. Let's get to making moves. So we'll see. All I know is the month of July should be an interesting one. It's been a pretty dead last couple weeks, but now I think everything's really going to amplify. Rumors, speculation, more moves probably coming. It's really starting to feel like football season again, isn't it?
We're getting closer to that, man. That feeling of football, of game days, just right around the corner. Right. I miss it. So we're getting closer to football. We're getting closer and closer to Latrobe, to training camp, to seeing what these players, these new Steelers can do in a Steelers uniform.
Right. The way I feel about Najee is how I feel about Minkah. They will be missed, but it was just time for the better. That's fair.
That's a fair thing to think about. That's a fair mindset.
Cody says whole front office is gone if they whiff quarterback next year. They have to land it. They have to land, no doubt about it. They have to land quarterback whenever that is. Most likely next year.
Can't miss out, man.
Ravenator, Will Howard will get his chance in preseason and then sit all year. That's what he's going to get. Knock on wood, injuries happen. Just ripped up my Vax card. Hashtag Rogers mentality. There you go. There you go. Minkah started to voice his frustration, and Coach Canton wants to hide the truth from Steelers Nation, so he had to go. I don't know where you heard that.
Is that actually reported, or is that just speculated?
I have no idea.
Unless that's actually reported, I'm not believing that.
Right. Keep dealing and trading Khan. Loved his moves. No more same old shit year after year. Let's go. I hope not. So I guess in that sense, yeah. We wanted moves. We wanted change. And he gave us some change. He gave us some moves. It's just not all that we expected.
Far from it.
It's not all that we might agree with. But, it's what Omar Khan's trying to build. He's trying to build his own roster, trying to build his own team. That's for sure. We'll see if it pays off. It's going to be an interesting year. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
Howard could be your best chance. We're not putting in a six round rookie day one. Nah. And that was never going to happen.
No.
Smurf McNasty, hell of a name, says, I will miss Minkah, and I was pissed when I first heard because I wanted him to still be there, but just still hurt. That's how I was. He'll tell you. We were on the phone. He called me. He's like, trade details. I said, what? What did they trade? Like, we traded Minkah. And I kind of lost it. I was like, why would they do that? Why would they do that?
He kind of shouted.
Why would they do that? I didn't like it. I still don't like it.
He kept repeating it, and I couldn't help but laugh. I'm not going to lie to you.
I still don't like it. And now that we have some reasoning of why they did it, I understand from their point of view. That doesn't mean I have to agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
But what's been done can't be changed now, so we just have to live with it as Steelers fans and move on and hope for the best. But we, again, stack corner. We stack tight end. Maybe not the most necessary positions to stack, but they wanted to do it. And those are two positions you can't be mad at for them adding more bodies to. The more, the merrier.
As long as they utilize them right.
What do they do at safety now?
Justin Simmons?
I say Justin Simmons, yeah. In fact,
Julian Blackman?
Before we get out of here, I want to see the free agency list at safety. Because we have, Justin Simmons, Julian Blackman. I'm not even going to throw out there Marcus Williams. No one wants that.
No.
No one wants that. Safety.
Go to available. Go up. Available.
Oh, they got it specified now. Fancy update. Yeah, Justin Simmons, Jordan Whitehead, Julian Blackmon, Quadre Diggs,
No, he's coming off an injury.
Jordan Poyer. He's 34 years old.
That's a solution.
Our best bet is Simmons, Whitehead, or Blackmon. Preferably Justin Simmons. Yeah, it's another 1-year rental for an aging vet, but you know what? We're kind of already in that boat, aren't we? So what is one more body going to do?
Defy the meaning, all in.
Real talk, yes. Ramsey will be at safety at some point. Yeah, he will see reps. He won't be there full time, though. See, that's where I'm also going to be interested is how much are they going to incorporate him there? What certain packages are they going to put him at safety? That should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Smurf McNasty, yeah, don't forget about Sebastian Castro from Iowa. You know, he was being looked at as a guy that could make the 53, and he still could. I'm not ruling it out. But you got to question what his role now would be. I guess backup, right? Backup safety. I don't see him making the roster as a nickel corner. It would have to be backup safety. He'd have to get the majority of his reps as a safety. So I'd love to see him get second, third team reps. Maybe on vet off days, he gets first team reps. I mean, you look at it.
Maybe.
You look at it from the depth chart. We got Juan Thornhill and Sebastian Castro as our front two free safeties. Ramsey as the substitute sub-package guy, right? So
Screw it. Where's Eric Rowe?
Eric Rowe.
Yeah. He was on the practice squad last year. Why the hell not, right? Why not?
I guess.
No, I'm only kidding. No.
This year's a make or break year for Tomlin. That's why they're getting all these players. It would if he had some pressure on him, if he had a hot seat, but he doesn't. He has the coldest seat in the NFL. There's no pressure for Mike Tomlin. So you might want to think it's make or break, but it's not make or break.
I would have considered last year to be make or break, but Art Rooney never did, and he gifted him an extension.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tomlin's not going anywhere.
What's Connor Hayward worth in trade? He's out. He's worth a toothpick from Permane Brothers. That's what he's worth.
A French fry.
He's worth a Turner Tea from Get and Go. That's what he's worth. He's worth a Smiley cookie from Eaton Park. He's not worth nothing. He's
not.
He's worth $2 in a swear jar. Think about that. That's 8 quarters. That's a lot of swear words. I'll take it.
Connor Hayward, his roster spot is definitely in jeopardy now.
I think it always was. Personally, I always thought it was. I forget the undrafted guy we got. I thought he was going to push for the fullback spot.
You talking about DJ Thomas Jones?
Yes. I thought he was going to push him.
He still could. You never know.
Well, keep in mind.
What are the odds they still keep 4 tight ends?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Maybe they keep 4 tight ends.
So maybe Hayward does stick around if he balls out enough.
Well, keep him. Yeah, they kept 4 last year. Oh, no.
Hayward's still on the team, guys. Connor, that is.
Didn't Willie Parker wear 39? Yes, he did. Fast Willie. Yes, he did. Longest rushing touchdown in Super Bowl history.
Still, to this day.
I don't get why we're collecting tight ends like they are going out of style. Arthur Smith loves his tight ends. I didn't think it was necessary, but hey, I guess. He's a great pass target. I'm not going to hate the idea of grabbing that. Just as long as this isn't their fix for weapons. He's not the fix. If you want to add him, sure, whatever. Go get another one.
This does not eliminate them still trying to acquire a wide receiver. They still got to get one.
Did you guys think Cam would get mad if they let Connor walk? No. He understands the business. He understands the business.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we got Roman Wilson, and we didn't need to get the chance to see him ball out, and I think he can do it this year. He's fully healthy. If he stays fully healthy, I hope he gets as many reps as possible. He's going to have to build his way up, which is a good thing. You don't want to just award him a certain role. Let him work his way up. I'm very excited for Roman Wilson.
That's how it should be. And looking at the reps he did, I mean, he looks like he's got his groove back a little bit.
But I'm not going to be I'm not going to put all my eggs in the Roman Wilson basket. We still need a receiver.
No, he's he's got to build his way up, but yes, you still got to add another name. Robert Woods is not it.
No.
Far from it.
He's a good vet guy that will coach up a guy like Roman Wilson, teach him the ways.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine for a guy like Woods to bring that experience to these young guys.
That's
like
exactly
Austin and Wilson.
That's exactly what Bobby Trees is for.
That is his nickname, isn't it?
Yes,
Bobby Trees.
that's exactly what he's for.
Okay.
Collecting tight ends like it's Infinity Stones. That's Arthur Smith for you. He loves his tight ends, man. What is the option for wide receiver 2? Personally, I think we're going to run a lot of under center with 3 tight ends and DK on the outside. Yeah, we're running a ton of 13 personnel. We're going to run the ball early with 13 personnel, with Darnell being the primary guy on the outside of the tackle, playing the tight end spot, the 3 tight end spot.
Mm-hmm.
And we're running a ton of 13 personnel in terms of moving Jonnu out to the slot while still keeping Muth and Darnell as extra targets. Maybe they keep Darnell as an extra chipper, as an extra blocker, pretty much a 6th man on that offensive line, while having Jonnu in the slot and Muth play whatever.
You have Darnell and Broderick just side by side over on the left.
Rock Taylor, I could
Out of Memphis, huh?
I could see him having a good camp and a good preseason. I hope so. If it's enough to make the roster, then, obviously, go for it. Maybe he can be like another Tyler Vaughns. Remember him? How many of you remember Tyler Vaughns?
What UFL team has he always been on? Wasn't the Vipers. It was some other team. The Blackhawks, maybe? Tyler Vaughns is? I don't know. Just whatever.
Sorry to see make it go, and good luck to him. And if you don't feel too good about the Steelers this year, y'all can feel any way you want about the Steelers this year, man. It's been one wild offseason. It really has. I have my own personal opinions about it. Might be different from you guys. That's why we're Steelers fans. We're not going to agree on everything. We don't have to.
No, everyone's going to have their opinions, their thoughts and whatnot, and that's fine.
This will be the best offense since 2017. Isn't saying much, but yeah, it's not saying much. Our offense has been very bad for a long time. You would hope that this is the best offense since then. I hope so. I mean, with DK, Caleb Johnson, Jalen Warren running the rock, an offensive line full of young studs, maybe. I'm not going to say for certain because I don't know. The offense is still a massive question mark to me. Until I see results, I can't really judge. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to judge based off of preseason. I did that one time and it broke my heart.
We all did, dude.
It broke my heart.
We all did. I don't know what that was.
That really broke my heart, man.
God, that was a fake. That was a fraud.
I know what Muth is saying. I better pick it up competition. Better pick up your play. I don't think Muth has anything to worry about. He might have to fend for more targets for sure because of that chemistry, of that relationship that Smith and Smith have. The Smith and Smith connection, right?
Yes.
We went from Wilson to Wilson to Smith and Smith.
We still have Wilson and Wilson. Roman and Peyton.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant. You know, it's a little unfortunate that we didn't get that connection at all.
Should the Steelers get
Just saying.
Tyreek Hill? No. Kyle, no. That kind of defeats the purpose of getting rid of Pickens, doesn't it? Get rid of one.
If they
cancer to
wanted
bring in another.
Tyreek Hill, they would have tried to get him in this package, but they didn't.
Right.
It's not happening. Tyreek Hill will not be a Steeler.
Tyreek Hill is a lone wolf over there, man. Yo, Raheem Mostert, I don't know if you guys seen his post. He was not happy. He was not happy.
Yeah.
He was not happy at all, man. What a day. What a day to be a Steelers fan, folks. What a day.
And it's only Monday.
Yes, this is just the start of the season. The week.
Yeah.
Not the season. We're not there yet. The week.
We're getting there.
It's weird, man. They always break the news right when I'm at work. They did it with Pickens. Now they did it with this. What's next?
I don't know. At this point, the Steelers are unpredictable, so I can't predict.
They're very unpredictable. So I'll leave the chat with one more question, one more request, one more response. What is the next trade that you want the Steelers to make? You can be as unrealistic as possible. This should be fun.
Oh, boy.
This should be fun.
Get ready for the Pat Mahomes trades.
Dayon says, good stuff, fellas. Dolphins fan. Well, how do you feel? I want to know a Dolphins fan's opinion. I don't really see Dolphins fans a lot in the chat, or I don't follow a lot of Dolphins fans. So, what's a Dolphins fan's opinion regarding today's moves? Waddle.
That'd be more digestible of a trade for Miami, I guess.
You had my attention. Now you have my curiosity. Electric Visuals says Scary Terry. JT Production says Olave. Chris Olave. Dana says Waddle. Isaiah says Terry. White Mamba 24XE says the Steelers will trade for Alan Lazard next. That would be terrible. Jake says Romeo Dobbs or Terry McLaurin. PGBVBY says need to sign someone younger. Who's young out there?
Let me check. Let me check.
It's just older guys, man.
Let me check.
Oh, how Game Talks? How you doing, man? Good seeing you in the chat. How do you feel about the Steelers this year? You laughing at us or you like scared of us? Because I don't know what you should feel anymore. I don't.
The youngest wide receiver, like starter wide receiver,
It would have to be Gabe Davis.
yeah, 26 years old.
He's still an option. You got to wait till he clears the physical, though. You got to wait till he's healthy. But he has 4 other teams, waiting at his doorstep with contracts.
Yes, I mean, so he's not, that door ain't closed yet.
Amari Cooper could be an interesting fit at Z. He could. I would still prefer like a Keenan Allen, but I wouldn't mind Cooper. Wide receiver or safety. I think we got to make a trade for both. Steelers trading for Will Levis. Watch. No. Let's not do that. That would be terrible. No one wants Will Levis.
What's the point of trading for Will Levis? You don't need him.
Watt for Josh Allen. If we talking nonsense, unrealistic. Yeah, I guess I could have worded it better. Eddie T, good to see you in the chat.
What's up, Eddie?
Get Tyreek Hill since he's buddy with Jonnu. Listen, maybe they're not done talking. The Steelers and Dolphins, man, they got tons of trade history. Maybe they're not done talking.
Yeah, they do.
I would hope that the next move they make is for safety, because they got to solidify that, and then wide receiver, or vice versa. Either way, just get them done. Get them done.
I don't care which one comes first. Just get both done.
Yeah. Con would rather and does have Rudolph, who's better than Will Levis. I agree. I think Will Howard's better than Will Levis, and Will Howard hasn't thrown an NFL pass yet. Will Levis is trash. I'm sorry. Rodgers is fragile. That's why. Well, you better hope the line can keep him protected.
The whole line at that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trading for Waddle either. I kind of like that idea.
That'd be nice.
It's a similar contract to Tyreek, but he's younger and no drama.
If you're not down with that,
Isaiah.
we've got 2 words.
Okay, I should have been more specific when I said unrealistic.
Trade for Justin Jefferson.
Why not? Hell yeah. If we're going all in, you got to get the best of the best of the best. So,
Hey, Kevin O'Connell, you want you want an offensive lineman?
with today's trades, which lineman?
Calvin Anderson.
Oh, God. With today's trades, what is the likelihood that trade talks with TJ Watt increases? Several teams are showing interest. I don't think there's any likelihood to it, but I could be wrong. I never thought Minkah would get traded. I didn't think we would trade for DK. I didn't think we'd pass on Shedeur Sanders 3 times. Thank God. But they did. So, you know what? Maybe I should just ignore my beliefs, because maybe my beliefs are wrong.
Yeah, Con's like, those beliefs, just throw them out the window.
Maybe I should just open my mind to everything. And I mean everything. Maybe I should just get my hopes up.
Brian Bolton says Steelers should sign Art the Clown. He would kill the competition.
Sure would. Sure would. Silent killer, literally. Waddle for a 3rd or 4th. What's his contract details?
Now you're interested. Now you're intrigued.
I'm not going to get my hopes up.
What is his contract term?
$8 million cap hit this year. That's it. He has an $8 million cap hit this year, $11 million next year. Then it jumps up to an astounding $33.834 million in 2027. Yikes! They backloaded the hell out of that contract.
Oof.
But they're not going to trade him because the dead cap that they would suffer is astonishingly awful to look at. So that's not happening.
And that number is?
Well, so let's say the Steelers trade for Jalen Waddle. They would suffer a dead cap hit next year of $23 million and $227,000. That's a lot. Teams have taken bigger dead cap hits. I think we took a bigger dead cap hit for trading AB. I forget the exact number.
I know the Jets took a big cap hit just releasing Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think it happens.
I don't know. I just hope that the Steelers aren't done, because however you feel about these moves today, I feel like they created more holes. And that's one thing I didn't want them to do as we inch closer, is create more holes.
Yeah.
For whatever reason they wanted to do it, for however it makes sense to them,
they did it.
And in closing, man, I like the Ramsey addition. I think we really needed that. I think a guy like JPJ needed that. Jonnu Smith, I can live with it. I don't think we need another tight end. I'd rather their focus be towards a receiver and open the offense a little bit, but it's not how Arthur Smith rolls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still torn about getting rid of Minkah, man. I'm sure by tomorrow morning, it'll kind of just pass over, but today is just tough to see him go. It's just one of those guys that, man, we went through a lot to get him, and he's gone. So, to Minkah, man, once again, thank you, salute, shout out to you, and good luck in Miami. Back where you started. But he's gone, and we move on as the Pittsburgh Steelers. We move on to Steelers Nation. We know more is coming. Jake says do a poll. What poll? What poll should I do? Trade for CD Lamb and screw Pickens? Well,
do a poll of players who we should trade for next.
All right, I'll do one. Now, hold on. Now, what players should I add? Should I be realistic here?
Throw in Scary Terry, Jalen Waddle. What safeties could be available for trade?
I don't know. I wasn't really worrying about safety. The second I stopped worrying about safety, I have to worry about it again. Let's see.
Yeah, we all thought we had Elliott and Minkah for the next 2 years. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what safeties would be available for trade. I couldn't tell you.
Jesse Bates. I don't think the Falcons would get rid of him.
No,
But
I
I love that idea. Bates is incredible.
Bates would be great.
With Minkah gone, who's going to play free safety? As of now, it would have to be Thornhill. Otherwise, I don't know. Like long-term, full, every game starter, I don't know. Go get Simmons. I'm going to leave it. Let me see. I'm going to leave. Should I add one more, Rob? Or should I keep it there?
Nah, I'll leave it there.
All right. I'll add that. Who should the Steelers trade for next? And this is just primarily wide receiver. McLaurin, Romeo Doubs, or Chris Olave. I feel like those are the three at the top at everyone's list. Because I don't know who else is realistic. Maybe Terry McLaurin's not realistic, but seeing his contract.
Given his situation, yeah.
I mean, people are throwing out the idea of Watt getting traded. So I'm going to throw out the idea of Terry McLaurin getting traded. You don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen next week. We're bursting at the seams with defensive tackles. Well, that's a good thing. We're stacked there.
Much more improved compared to last year.
Yes. Sign Simmons. You know what? Go for it. Tom is still head coach. I got zero hope. If I were you guys, I would just hope they lose every game and see what happens. Don't extend Watt. He's a playoff choker. Says Andrew Tate is the GOAT. I agree with you regarding Tomlin.
Yeah, I don't have trust in Tomlin.
Or the coaching staff in general. Olave, not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea if he doesn't get hurt again. He has had 5 concussions already. He's one more away from retirement.
See, this is interesting here. White Mama 24XE says, given their recent moves trading for older, formerly great players, I could see the Steelers trade for Harrison Smith to fix their free safety position.
Didn't they just give him an extension? Could have sworn to God they just gave him an extension.
I mean, that man is a Viking for life.
Yeah, I don't think the Vikings would do that to him.
This man is 36 years old.
They wouldn't do that to him. He's been with the team for 13 years.
Resigned March 12th, resigned with the Vikings on a 1-year deal worth $10.25 million. Yeah, he's not moving.
May I throw out a...
This man started 16 games last year and still balled.
Yeah.
Damn,
Harrison Smith.
He's great. He's 36, but he's still very good. I don't think he gets traded.
No, definitely not.
Nah. But it's not a bad, consideration right there, White Mama. I see why you bring it up.
Well, 62% obviously say Terry McLaurin. Because, of course, we want the big dog. We want the big name. Maybe something escalates. With Omar Khan, guys, anything's possible.
Yeah.
I thought that after he traded for DK, but I know that more so now than ever because I thought Minkah would have been here, maybe not forever, but at least up until the end of his contract. I didn't think that they would just trade him away after everything. They did. So, with Omar Khan, anything's possible.
Yep.
That is more so proven now than I think ever. And he's done a lot of un-Steeler things. He has.
And he just continues to do it almost every offseason. And I don't think that changes any bit.
I don't think
that slows down any bit.
Nope, I don't think so either.
And I don't think he's done, nor do I think he should be done. I think he's still got to make moves. You still got holes on the team. You still got to fix them. If you're going all in, so do it.
Oh, they're going all in. All these moves are
an indication. It's an indication. Waiting on A-Rod, trading for DK, not just to have him for this year, but for the future. Trading for Ramsey, trading for Jonnu, signing Darius Slay, all these other additions. I know their mission. I get it.
I ain't gonna lie, man. It's weird to see all of them be Steel. Like, this is something that you do in Madden.
Yes, you would.
But this is reality. All of these guys in one offseason.
Yeah, they're repping the black and gold.
They are.
Like, when you look back at their careers, you look at them and see them in a Steelers jersey. It's like, wow. They were actually Steelers at one point. Like, as a fan, it's a little crazy to experience that. Just a bit.
It's a wild offseason, man. Like it or not, it's been a wild offseason. With that being said, we're going to go on out of here. We've been live for almost 2 hours. We appreciate the patience from you guys waiting all day for this stream, for our opinions and our reactions. We appreciate you guys for joining us late today. I mean, it's not late, but later than usual.
Yeah.
More usual than we'd like to. So we appreciate you guys for joining us as always, man. What a day to be a Steelers fan. Crazy stuff, crazy day, but we know more is to come. So as we inch closer to the NFL season, as we inch closer to Steelers football returning, all I can say is brace yourselves. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
So with that being said, we'll have more content coming out as, of course, the weeks progress, as the days go on, as we get closer and closer to football season. We have tons of content already planned. We just got to get to filming, getting to editing, getting done. We got content coming out, so stay tuned for that. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit those notifications so you guys don't miss out on any other uploads coming up shortly, as we are almost done here in June. June's done. So June, adios. July, Latrobe month, welcome.
Wherever gets us closer to football season, because I'm ready for football. I'm done with this heat.
Yes.
I am not a fan of summer whatsoever. I want fall season. I want hoodie weather back. I want my holidays back. I want my football back. So as long as we get closer there, I'm a happy man.
Yes, sir. So
Unless the Steelers just do Steeler things.
it's going to be...
It's going to be a crazy season. There's no doubt.
With that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Have a great week. And if any other news breaks, we will be here live to give our own raw opinions. So appreciate you guys. See you in the next one. Here we go, Steelers. And for the last time, Minkah, thank you. I love you. I will miss you. Good luck.
And who knows? Maybe thank you Miami again? Maybe.
Yo, that's fucked up.
Maybe.
That's fucked up.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what transpires. But
That's messed up, man.
as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace.